Police emergency.
There's an incident going on about it. There's a house being smashed up. There's a gang of lads outside.
How many lads are there?
There's quite a few. They come smashing out somebody's house. And I don't know if they're trying to catch somebody. They've still got another lad in the street and they've pinned him down and they're beating him up. I think they're going to need an ambulance. They've picked him up off the road and they're shoving him in the car. He looks dead.
Over the years, I've been to hundreds of crime scenes, so I've seen the whole spectrum. Some crime scenes, you get there, they're easy to read, you understand straight away what you think has gone on. Other times you get there and you've got no idea.
Andy Salt is part of a forensic team from West Midlands Police that has been sent to the scene of a series of violent incidents in a residential area of Dudley.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You gotta fit the pieces together to try and understand what's gone on.
Police were called to what appeared to be a fight between a group of people in the street. But when officers arrived, all the offenders had fled the scene. The body of a man was found next to a car that had crashed into a garden fence. A second victim was reportedly taken to a nearby hospital.
It is a complicated set of circumstances, quite a big scene, a fair bit going on, so quite complex on-scene investigation, really. It's all kicked off over there, so scan that area, all around the corner, all the evidence there.
To help investigators interpret such a large and confusing crime scene, the forensic team used specialist scanners to capture a 3D image of the entire area of interest.
The laser scan captures absolutely everything. It sends out a laser beam. Millions of points are recorded every rotation of the scan. It records every physical feature that's there within 40, 50 metres. It will build up a 3D point cloud of the environment around itself. So any evidence that's there, you name it, it'll pick it up and it'll register it in 3D.
The scan must be completed before any pieces of evidence can be moved.
We've got a body under this forensic tent here. Then we've this white Audi that's crashed into the side of this house. Working back from here, we can see there are tyre tracks leading back across a grass area to another house on the other side. The house has its front window completely smashed. Around the corner from their house, we've got a blue BMW that's got its rear window smashed. Laser scanning for this job is a real boon. It looks at the whole scene from wherever you want. It's immensely powerful. You can fly through it virtually, you can zoom right into detail to millimetre accuracy. This is pioneering new technology for us. It's a game changer.
The team will be able to refer back to the scan throughout the investigation to visualise the location of each piece of evidence.
Is there some indication then that the deceased might actually have been run over?
Well, nobody's actually said it to me, but I do wonder. I mean, we've got the shoe prints over there by number 6.
Yeah.
Have you seen the marks over the grass?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he has actually hit him.
Andy begins to investigate how the victim could have ended up dead on the pavement near the crashed car.
The car has come up this drop curb, crossed the footpath, onto the grass, leaving tyre prints as it goes and squashing the grass flat. And then as it gets towards the point where you'd expect it to go off the grass straight onto the road, it looks like the driver's deliberately steered more to the right. Shoe prints there that closely resemble visually the shoes on the deceased. So you think he stood here at some point, but was he actually stood there when the car went up the curb? We don't know. And then that leads through to the tyre marks through the mud and then into the fence. It's a working hypothesis.
To assess whether the victim has been hit by the car, forensic investigators must examine the body at the scene before it is taken for a more detailed post-mortem.
Just swallow a bit more. There's any more injuries on him.
They find no evidence that the victim came into contact with the vehicle,
Real puncture wound in the side, isn't it? Yeah.
but they do discover an unusual wound on the side of his abdomen. They photograph it as evidence.
Yeah.
That puncture wound is very specific. Sometimes you'll get a wound that can only be from a certain object or implement, but with this one, I can't say what. I just don't know.
Okay, that'll do.
A search of the victim's clothing finds he wasn't carrying any ID, so investigators try to identify him through his fingerprints.
It's very crucial at a very early stage to identify the body, one for the family and also for the police investigation, because if that person is actually known to us, it then might open up lines of inquiry.
Try the forefinger first.
A lantern device is a mobile fingerprinting system that works with a light-sensitive microchip, and that reads the fingerprint on the victim. So it reads your fingerprint, that gets loaded up to the fingerprint database and gets searched on the system for any suspects known to the police previously.
60%. We need to try and get 80%.
That's fine.
So I'll try it again. Okay.
Cool.
Hi, boss.
Hello, mate.
Done it twice.
Yeah.
Got 80% on the index finger, 100% match on the thumb.
Yeah.
But say no trace of any records. On
Okay. All right. Thank you for trying.
Through,
Yeah.
but nothing.
Okay.
I assume it's not on the system.
Nah, we'll have to ID him another way then.
Yeah.
The victim has no criminal record and therefore cannot be immediately identified. So investigators turn their attention to the white Audi that has crashed into the house near to the victim's body.
Let's have a look inside the car.
There's a lot of evidence that can be found on the car, inside and out.
What have we got? There's a phone in there.
Digital evidence from phones is absolutely vital because it can link people to other people. It can put them geographically in certain locations at certain times. It holds so much information, a phone does. So much.
The phone is recovered and sent to digital forensic specialists for examination. On the other side of the grass area, the forensic team examines a second car that may be connected to the incident.
It's a blue BMW. It's got like damage to the back windscreen. Could easily be like a machete. So it's got to be something to do with it.
Next, forensic investigators prepare to enter the last obvious key location in the crime scene, the house with the smashed front window.
You never know what you're going to find when you go inside a house. You can be stood outside of it and you go inside and what you find is completely unexpected. Looks can be deceiving.
I'm going to go upstairs, go and see what I've got. So it's a bit of a problem when there's no actual power. Here we go. Oh, wowzers. Blimey.
When you walk into what looks like a normal family home, you certainly don't expect to find a huge crop of cannabis.
Just in that one room, there's 69 fully grown plants. Yeah, it looks like there's potentially another room up here. Look at that. There's quite a bit there. Yeah.
Has this huge crop of cannabis inside this house led to what we've got outside? And could this be the reason for the death of that young man?
So here, there's been quite a few plants cut from the pot. So our fingerprint knows in due course. It's just to try and identify people who have actually been in here, potentially responsible for the grow of the cannabis, really. It would then help identify suspects for the murder that's taken place. The back room, though, if you magna the laminate flooring, you might find some quite nice footprints all over the place, really.
Oh, they've got a scrap, haven't they?
The front room, the window's smashed. So, looking at the amount of glass on the inside and the outside, it's more likely it's been smashed from the inside to out. So really, it looks like something has happened in that property where whoever has gone through that window has needed to escape extremely quickly.
The case has been handed to DCI Jim Munro and his team, which is led by DS Dale Robertson. They have discovered the house with the cannabis is owned by a family with the surname Ramzan, and that a man with the same surname was taken to a local hospital at around 4:45 in the morning.
When they arrive, white t-shirts on the mobile phone, he's the driver.
CCTV expert DC Spencer Jenkins reviews video footage from the hospital.
I've only got a snapshot at the moment of a photograph of him coming in on the trolley.
That will be captured on the body cam footage because the officers interact with them at the hospital.
Yeah. Excuse me a second. Where's the injured party for this? Yeah.
He's in there.
He's in there?
Yeah, they're working on him.
Right, okay. This is the guy who's brought him in. What's your mate's name?
Wasim Ramzan.
Wasim?
Yeah.
Ramzan?
Yeah.
Yeah, from 4-6, Mala Hospital was confirmed as deceased so far.
So, I'm at the hospital at the moment. The male's been declared deceased. I've been given a name, Wasim Ramzan, and I've been told he's about 35 years old, but I haven't got any more than that at the moment. There's 2 family members in attendance as well. I don't know exactly who they are. Were you at the location with him when you picked him up?
I live out there, I heard the commotion and come out and there's loads of people there, my brother's on the floor. And just picked him up and put him in the car.
Okay. Were you there as well, mate? Okay. Can I just get your details, sir?
Sagwat Ramzan.
Sagwat Ramzan.
Okay. I'm really not in the mood, mate.
I know, I just need to get as much as I can, okay? What's your name, sir? Omar Ramzan.
So the 2 that we get that go in with him, so he...
That's the brother, Sagi. But he just says he comes along afterwards and scoops him up, doesn't he? Or picks him up.
At the moment, there's a lot missing for me here. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right, morning. Really busy day, really difficult to try and understand. A lot of scenes and 2 dead people. Wasim Ramzan, who was taken to Russell Hospital, deceased, and unknown male who was found in the street, deceased at that location.
The forensic team has drawn the detectives' attention to the unusual puncture wound on the body of the victim found at the crime scene.
We were really puzzled by that injury. The entry wound was quite distinctive. Could this be, you know, some kind of ornamental knife? It's not something we'd seen before. Forensics play a massive part of the inquiry to try and identify the weapon.
Detectives will need to wait for the results of forensic post-mortem examinations to confirm the causes of death for both victims.
The scene, first of all, is Pensnet Road, so number 92, and then number 94, which is neighbouring, being the main premises, both of which are owned by the Ramzan family. We believe that Wasim is inside that address. An altercation has then taken place. It's unclear exactly at this time then what happens in terms of disorder, the melee, how the Audi ends up in the garden. That's got to be the priority, to try and understand who's done what, who's where, through the course of the night.
With the identity of the dead man found near the crashed Audi still unknown, digital forensic officers begin an examination of the phone found in the car.
Enter passcode. The 0000. Hey! And it's open. It's a weak password. Cool.
The amount of combinations for iPhones now, 6-digit pins, there's millions of combinations. So it's becoming more and more difficult to guess those easy pins that previously would have got us into a phone.
Makes me wonder why you use such a weak password. Now we'll go through his videos.
Continue for 3/4.
We've got cannabis. Oh, this is nice. It's slightly incriminating, isn't it? I always wear my balaclava to visit people with cannabis grows.
Although the videos and messages aren't from the night of the murders, they suggest the owner of the mobile phone may previously have been involved in the burglary of a cannabis factory.
Robberies of cannabis factories are becoming more common. So offenders will come to a property where they know there's cannabis being produced, and they will break into it to then steal the plants.
Wow, that was a big lorry load.
They know the likelihood of the offence being reported is probably very small. Why pay for it when you can steal it?
To find all the evidence on this phone, that gets our minds thinking, is this a robbery of a cannabis crop gone wrong?
Detectives have been attempting to contact Sagwat and Omar Ramzan to get their accounts of what happened at the scene of the murders.
We've got nephew and brother who have brought their relation into the hospital and then they disappear. Then they go. We're thinking, well, why would you want to absent yourself when ultimately you hold the key to what's happened? It might be that they've gone on their own because they think, I'm going to get blamed for these 2 deaths. But I think we need to establish exactly what their role is.
A manhunt is launched for the Ramzan's arrest, and police obtain a warrant to search their home address, the house next door to the cannabis factory.
The key thing there is large-scale cannabis factory number 94 that we know is linked to the Ramzan family. What could be number 92? Bloody hell.
Just inside the Ramzan's front door, investigators find 2 crossbows.
That crossbow is ready to fire, yeah, and it's got a bolt on it with what looks like blood on it as well.
If you can't put the bag against the wall, the bag will catch it, stop the inertia.
There is definitely blood on it.
2 crossbow bolts are found with the weapons in the hallway, and 2 more are found outside in the garden.
Just see the top of it poking out. I've never seen a crossbow before, ever. That's in 25 years.
Nasty, aren't they?
Medieval.
But firing off, yeah. Yep. Oh, bloody hell.
Highly deadly.
Horrific. And the thing is, you can buy them and you don't have to register them, have a license.
You've got to be over 18.
Unbelievable.
It's a major breakthrough. The forensics around the crossbows is going to be essential for us, because what that's going to allow us to know is who has handled those weapons and how are they linked to the people who have tragically died.
Here we go. Lovely.
As forensic investigators continue to search the property, they find a CCTV system. They recover the hard drive for forensic examination.
That CCTV, as we move forward now, becomes even more critical for me, and getting into that hard drive is essential to allow us to understand where this inquiry is going.
The CCTV hard drive recovered from Sagwat and Omar Ramzan's home is sent to the Forensic Video Imaging Laboratory for analysis.
The first thing you're trying to do is to find out they actually do have a hard drive inside. So sometimes they see stuff and either the hard drive's been removed or hasn't been one there entirely. So then you kind of go, this is a bit light. Open it up and then it's empty. So then you just open it up and try and look at the inside. So that's good. This is the hard drive. This is where the data's stored for this job. That's what we want to get at. Power up. Go into the menu, take off any kind of manual or automated record function. Okay, so just going to check if there's anything there for the offence time. There's nothing there. This is very unusual, so this does make me suspicious of the fact that there is footage after the offence time, yet there is nothing before that. And so either someone's made efforts to destroy or hide this evidence, or they've installed this system at like 6 o'clock in the morning, which seems quite unlikely that they've chosen to install this system while they're being robbed. So now we're going to actually remove the internal hard drive, so then we can work on it on one of our forensic workstations, which means we can run some of our advanced techniques and processes across it, find that footage, recover it. If you get that footage back, you can see exactly what happened at the exact moment of this offence. It's a time machine, and that means that we can push investigations forward days, weeks, or months. It means that some people who were never going to be caught do get caught, and they get caught quicker.
The crossbows and bolts found at the Ramzan's home are sent to the major crime lab for analysis.
We'll be looking for blood and for any cellular DNA on the item itself. So sampling for blood, sampling for DNA. DNA from whoever may have handled the item, and blood from somebody who may have been actually injured with it. And then we think about maybe fingerprinting that after we've done those examinations. This is the little tips of the crossbow bolt. Obviously blood stain, that one.
If you have a stain which you think may well be blood, the test involves taking a small amount of that material, transfer it onto a filter paper, and then we add some chemical reagents to the filter paper. The reagent we use is called leucomalachite green, or LMG for short, and then we add some hydrogen peroxide. If blood is present, you get a chemical reaction taking place, then you'll get a colour change from colourless to blue-green colour.
With a positive result, samples from the bloodstain will be sent for DNA analysis to find out who it belongs to.
These days, you need an absolutely minutest amount of blood to get a DNA test. You're talking about fractions, maybe less than a millimetre square of blood will be sufficient to get a DNA result.
Once DNA has been extracted from the sample, it will be compared to profiles from the victims and suspects. The next thing to be analysed is the shaft of the crossbow bolt.
We're thinking about where would you hold it if you were actually loading it onto Crossbow. So probably you might hold it in the centre on the flights here. So given this shaft is quite smooth, we preserve that area for fingerprinting.
Blood and fingerprints, they've both got their parts to play. Ideal situation we'll have where we can recover both those types of evidence from the item.
Science requires patience. You know, I am impatient, and I do want to know the answers, and I do want to get closure for people really quickly. But sometimes, you know, we have to understand that takes some time.
DCI Jim Munro's team has never investigated a murder case involving a crossbow before. So he joins forensic pathologist Brett Lockyer and one of the UK's leading ballistics experts to test fire an identical model.
And my experience of dealing with murders, this was very rare, almost unique, that a crossbow had been used in a murder offence. So that's where we would ask a ballistics expert to explain the use of the weapon, the capability of the weapon.
Firing.
It's gone straight the way through.
One of the things about forensic pathology is trying to link injuries to weapons. Well, this weapon obviously leaves a characteristic injury to the skin.
It looks a bit like the logo from Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, it's very distinctive.
It is quite distinctive, yes.
The injury and that sort of entrance wound, they are quite, shocking, really.
Conventional tips for crossbow bolts such as this would be normal field tips, as they're called. Now, the bolts that were used in your crossbow were fitted with bladed or hunting tips, such as this, designed to cause blood channels in the animal. They will form a wound which will bleed, and that will eventually cause the animal to collapse and die.
So what's the likelihood of causing injury that's likely to kill somebody?
In our opinion, this would cause a potentially life-threatening, fatal injury.
So by this stage, the inquiry is becoming more complex. Now that we know it was a crossbow bolt, the picture is starting to evolve. The mere fact they were in possession of such a weapon is a risk. So now, it's really important to get these people in.
The homicide team is still trying to identify the victim found dead in the street.
Homicide, Dale Robertson can help. I haven't. Is it good news?
Dale Robertson receives the results of a licence plate check on the blue BMW found at the crime scene.
Let's have a look. So he is the registered keeper of the BMW that we've got recovered. What's his name, mate? Douglas. Kazima Douglas.
The owner of the BMW is identified as Kazima Douglas, a 20-year-old kickboxer who had competed internationally for England. By studying pictures from the internet and comparing them to crime scene photos, detectives conclude that Kazima Douglas is the unidentified victim.
See this distinct square hairline? That's him. This is the deceased.
But background checks show he has no criminal record and no known connections to the Ramzan family.
like a young lad, doesn't he? It's tragic, isn't it? Young life, full of potential, suddenly gone. Once we've identified who the people are, we can then seek to establish who their associates are. That's another area of investigation that we can explore to help try and solve this big mystery of what's occurred.
We're going to open this up in a hex editor. So a hex editor is something that actually reads the raw data, the ones and zeros on the drive. And then we're going to run some scripts across it, which can automate and find essentially that data.
The forensic video imaging team is using a new tool to attempt to recover the deleted CCTV found in the Ramzan's home.
It's only ourselves, the West Midlands Police, and the Metropolitan Police Service in London who can actually refer it as a service. So out of 43 forces in the UK, only 2 of them do it. It's quite advanced. We're using these devices and recovering the footage in a way that it wasn't designed to do. So we need, and we have built up a specialist capability to recover, process and exhibit that data. This is the drive map automatically going through that drive and pulling out and finding these sections of data. We want to find out a few hours before this DVR was restarted or wiped. In digital forensics, the devices that we recover data from are constantly changing, innovating, so we're constantly fighting against that problem. The devices we see can be completely new, whereas a fingerprint will always be a fingerprint. You can check that. Blood will always be blood. You know how to do that. The process is there. That's running through that drive. The peculiarities of this stuff, it's made predominantly in the Far East and forgotten. They might make 500,000 of a particular box, and then suddenly they end up in a high street shop in West Brom, and then that becomes the only bit of evidence for a stabbing or a murder or a rape, or whatever horrid thing that's happened. There's no information about that box. There's nothing else on the internet. There's no manual. We've just got it, and we've got to figure it out. And now it's finding it, I'm out putting it there. There is something there. So we're going to go back and hopefully we'll try and find out whether there was some footage from the offence time. Okay, I think we found it then. You can see some glass coming out of there now. Someone's making an escape from there. I think we found it because it's not usually to see someone carrying a marijuana plant down the street, running away from a smashed out window. Big step forward. This will be gold dust to the investigators.
What we're watching is recovered data.
The forensically recovered CCTV is handed over to the homicide detectives.
It's going to make our job a lot easier, this is. So, here's the car. There's a load of them. So, tailgate opens.
It looks like they're parked up in the lane behind the house. So that's the white Audi that's crashed. And then that's Douglas's BMW.
The CCTV footage shows the murder victim, Kuzema Douglas, is part of a group of burglars who are targeting the Ramzan's cannabis factory.
There you go. Somebody's just come round. Yeah.
Is that guy here Kuzema Douglas?
Don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4,
1, 2.
6 there.
Yeah.
Another one coming.
Yeah, another one. So you've got a lot more there than you thought you had.
Yeah.
So this will cover the front. That's Wasim. So they know it's been rushed now.
The CCTV shows the other murder victim, Wasim Ramzan, running to alert his brother Sagwat and nephew Omar to the burglars breaking into their cannabis house.
He's a big bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
What is that?
Crossbow.
See, that's the bigger crossbow, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is Sagwat. Yeah. That's the bigger crossbow. Can you go back a bit?
There's the arrows.
Yeah. You know, there's 2 crossbows in the house, though.
Yeah,
and that looks like a smaller one, yeah.
They're getting ready to go and attack him.
The footage shows Sagwat and Omar Ramzan emerging from their home both carrying crossbows.
Right, here we go. This is it. This is it.
With the group of burglars still in the house,
Fires that in there, look.
Sagwat Ramzan is seen firing the larger crossbow at one of their drivers.
Right, there's the Audi.
The white Audi's gone.
A white Audi is then seen driving away at speed. Detectives believe this is the car they found crashed into a garden fence near Kazeema's body.
So this will be a good view. It all kicks off at the front. So this is where they come out. So first one goes out the side, we see the glass going. 4, he's got a head torch on. 5. He's got his tree. Spoils of his good work. Oh look, and a bit of toilet roll.
I wonder how much cannabis is worth.
2 plants, nothing, not worth losing your life over, is it?
As the burglars flee, the CCTV shows Sagwat Ramzan appearing at the front of the house, carrying a crossbow.
To find the CCTV has been deleted, but we've recovered it. It's brilliant because it's brought a lot of clarity to what's happened when. Our hypothesis that we've got 2 groups and one has gone to rob the other. It's clearly the right line and right tack to take. What we've got to establish now is what weapons that have been used and what happens with these crossbows.
Detectives identify Kazeema Douglas as one of the last people to exit the house. Shortly after he emerges, the CCTV shows a struggle unfolding at the edge of camera.
So they've been able to corner and isolate Douglas.
So that's the start of the scuffle. Douglas has been rugby tackled by Wasim, yeah.
The 2 victims, Wasim Ramzan and Kazeema Douglas, are seen fighting with each other on the road.
Still having a go, feet flying. He's still got the crossbow there, look. Puts it down, picks it up.
I'm wondering whether he fires it at Douglas.
Yeah, he could have shot him there, yeah, easy. So this hand now, that appears to be lying on his back with your hand out, that's got to be Wasim. Then that means then that the injuries must have been inflicted
on the
outside of the
during
house.
that front
Yeah.
car.
There's a hand there that's just come out and there's something there.
Do you think that that might be in Douglas's hand? So is Douglas likely to have killed Wasim?
Potentially.
The footage shows it's clear that something quite drastic had occurred. But then we're blind. The camera doesn't show us enough of the road. What we do know is that Omar Ramzan and Sagwat Ramzan have both got crossbows. But what we don't know, once Sagwat and Omar come round to the front of the building, in the blind spot between the 2 cameras, what's happened there?
What's Wasim's injuries?
They're just doing it.
Okay.
The evidence around injuries and the causes of death for both victims will be crucial to the investigation. Detectives receive reports from the forensic pathologist, who has completed the post-mortem examinations.
Phil, could you just do a quick run through just what those injuries are, just so everybody's on the same page?
So the first one, which was Kazeema Douglas, the significant injury that he has sustained is a stab wound, has the profile, what would appear to be like a Mercedes sign, and that's likely to be an arrow of some description. That's hit the pelvic bone and has tracked 24 centimetres inside of his body. Deceased male 2, Wasim Ramzan. Provisional cause of death is the same, penetrating wounds.
It's crossbow wounds and crossbow bolts.
The profile of that wound is very similar to the one that Douglas had in terms of the arrow. That's gone through his body at 35 centimetres in length, and that's caused him to bleed internally, subsequently die.
The post-mortems conclude that both victims died from injuries inflicted by a crossbow.
Seeing the damage from the pathology of Kuzumaya and Wasim, just to fire them at a living human being, knowing how lethal they were, is something else.
It is not yet clear how Wasim Ramzan came to receive a crossbow wound.
You know, the bottom line is it's the crossbow that's gone out has caused the death of both people. You know, we've got one from one side, one from the other. So we've established at this point that Sagwat and Omar bring the weapons to the scene. Have they retained the weapons? Have they swapped weapons? Have they put them down? Or have the group of robbers dispossessed them and fired the weapon at Wasim? That's why we need the forensics. I know it's hard, but thanks for your dedication to it.
We've got in excess of 15 people who are in and around this scene. So we need to establish from the forensic examination is whose DNA and fingerprints are on what weapons. Again, that will help us determine what weapon has been used by what person. So it's imperative we get that.
Full CLD, Jim Monroe.
Hi, Jamie. Sandra Palmer from the lab. Just got some results for Operation Voyage.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, yeah.
First of all, the bolt, crossbow bolt.
Yeah.
That was NP3.
NP3, yeah.
Yeah. We've got blood on the tip, as you know.
Blood on, yeah.
And DNA result from that matches Douglas.
Kuzumaya, yeah, Douglas.
Okay.
MP3.
The crossbow bolts, NP6.
NP6, yeah.
Yeah. Again, got blood on the tip for that one. And got a full male DNA profile that matches Wasim on that one.
Oh, that's great, that is. That's brilliant.
Okay.
Thanks, cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Take care,
Bye.
bye-bye. So that's good news then. The two bolts that we sent in for examination, we've got both deceased blood come back on the tips.
Investigators believe both bolts were fired from the same weapon, the large crossbow.
Moving forward, fingerprinting forensics around the crossbows is going to be essential for us, because what that's going to allow us to know is who has handled the larger crossbow that is responsible for the deaths of both Kuzumaya and Wasim.
All right. Lovely, jubbly. In a bit, tell that. Right. We've inherited two prisoners. So they've detained them, and then we'll get them transported up and interview them.
Sagwat Ramzan, Wasim's brother, has been arrested in Stoke and brought to Birmingham for questioning.
Just need to take some pictures with a scale, Mr. Ramzan, so can you come and stand here for me? I just need your blanket off, is that all right? And take this off for me. All right, thank you. And then towards the back again. Just a bit closer.
Can you just come and stand yourself at the desk, please, Omar?
Sagwat's son, Omar, has also surrendered to police and has been taken into custody.
I'm just going to go down each nail with this, all right?
Their mouths and nails are swabbed for DNA, which will be compared to any DNA found on the two crossbows.
Come on in.
Now, upon your arrest earlier today, you said the following: "My son's a uni lad, he's innocent." Do you recall saying that?
No comment. 2 crossbows have been recovered from your home address. Whose are they?
No comment.
Are either of them yours?
No comment.
Were you responsible for the death of those 2 individuals?
No comment.
While Sagwat Ramzan maintains a no-comment interview, his son Omar submits a prepared statement through his lawyer. He claims that he was acting in self-defence and did not commit any murders.
I struggle to see how an argument of self-defence could be made out if you're not in any immediate danger. They've taken the fight, as it were, to them. They've confronted the group. But the CCTV doesn't show us what's happened after it all kicks off, so we don't know where all the other members of the group are. We don't really know where the weapons are. It's not impossible that one of the Ramzans have been disarmed and it's one of the robbers that is responsible for causing the injuries.
With the Ramzans refusing to talk, and the forensically recovered CCTV only providing a partial picture of the complex crime scene, the detectives regroup to review the evidence using the 3D model captured by the forensics team when it first arrived at the scene.
So the Ramzan CCTV is really useful. It allows us to understand what happened, where and when. But there's still some big questions that we need to answer. Right, so what we do know is the group of robbers have broken into this house to steal the cannabis from within that house. They've been disturbed by the Ramzans. They've been boxed in, so they can't escape at the rear. So they have smashed the front window and then they've made their escape in all directions. So we know that there are a lot of cars. They're parked in the side road to the back and the rear of the attack premises. And that's where we've recovered Douglas's blue BMW from. And then what we know is that the Ramzans have gone through their garden and then they've come down the same side street. So I think it's safe to assume it's at that point when the damage has been caused to the BMW. And then they've continued round to the front of the premises where the main altercation has occurred. So what we don't know is how Wasim was injured, who's caused the injuries, and how Kazamaya ended up on the other side of the green in close proximity to the white crashed Audi.
With key questions still outstanding, the team gets a breakthrough. Digital forensic experts have managed to recover another angle of CCTV footage that covers a wider area of the street where the fatal confrontation occurred.
We're really happy to get this because we had the dark hole before where everything kind of happened. This captures everything. We've got a very, very small area now that isn't actually covered by CCTV. So first figure out.
Yeah, it's come out the window, yeah.
So head torch comes out.
Yeah.
This is the victim. This is Douglas. Yeah. So he's the only one that predominantly goes sharp left, and that will be the interesting camera view at that point. So this is the other view, camera 2, and we'll see him get rugby tackled to the floor there.
Wasim, yeah.
So Wasim comes in, takes him straight off his legs, and they're straight on the floor. Half gets up, half down, rolls in the road, and Omar's there straight away as well.
On there, really. Right on spot straight away.
Yeah.
The new CCTV reveals another car arriving at the crime scene.
So we can see Douglas takes the point there to try and get up. The moment that their concentration's not quite on, yeah. But he's quickly overwhelmed again and back on the floor. A few blows in from Omar. Now we have 3 persons present.
All 3 of them, they're all involved, aren't they?
They are.
The driver of the car, a man named Mohammed Sagia, is seen to join in the attack on Kazemar Douglas. Officers also find footage of the white Audi that was found crashed near Kazemar Douglas's body.
So this is the Audi going past, speed,
yeah.
On the wrong side of the road,
yeah.
And then takes the bend too fast and goes off-road and then basically ends up hitting the wall and fence.
So the white Audi's crashed whilst the struggle is still ongoing, so it hasn't come into contact with Douglas at all?
No. So we have Omar and we can see Sagawat.
See the glint now?
Yeah, we do. That's off the crossbow.
At this point, there's no crossbow hasn't been fired at any point
Nope.
here. That's Wasim on top, isn't it?
Yeah. Nope.
He's still holding on to Douglas.
So this is the moment that crossbow's fired. So we've got a bend down movement now.
Yeah. He's just shot that. Sagwat has accidentally shot his brother.
Yeah.
Redrawing the crossbow there, look.
Yeah. So we now have Wasim lying on his back. So he's released Douglas at this point. there.
He's just pulled the bolt out of his side, hasn't he?
At this point then, Wasim rolls to his side and immediately Omar and Sagir go to hold on to Douglas. So they are playing an active role.
Unbelievably, Sagwat Ramzan has discharged this lethal weapon into his brother. Doesn't stop to help him. And nor does Sagir, and neither does Omar Ramzan. And they continue to detain Kazama Douglas.
Wasim's still lying on his side. That's Sagawat. And you can see there, he's got the crossbow in his hand.
Holding the crossbow up, yeah. Just play that again.
Is that it?
We're not even seeing it, are we?
No. And he's got the crossbow.
We just don't see it on this camera.
Although the CCTV shows that all 3 men were involved in the attack on Kazama Douglas, it's not completely clear when the fatal blow was inflicted.
It looks like Sagwat has the crossbow. You just can't see clearly enough what's going on. Can we be 100% sure that it was Sagwat that delivered the fatal blow into Douglas? Omar's actively involved, isn't he?
It is, yeah.
Stamping on him.
Right the way through, from the very start to the very end.
The last direction you see Kazama going is over the road, onto the grassland, and he's made it 30, 40 yards over before he's collapsed.
After Kazama Douglas flees across the grass area, Omar and Sagwat Ramzan, along with Mohammed Sagir, are seen loading Wasim into a car.
I believe it's Sagwat Ramzan that's caused the fatal injuries, but the footage is very grainy, and all 3 of them are on top of Douglas. So we're going to need forensics on the crossbow to be able to say exactly who's been holding that crossbow.
Forensic testing of the large crossbow, which matches the 2 bolts that injured the victims, has revealed a clear fingerprint mark in blood. It has been sent to fingerprint analyst Claire Lynch for examination.
There is characteristics there, so that minute detail that we're looking at actually helps us to identify somebody's fingerprints. And there's enough in this information that's been left on the crossbow for us to make a comparison.
Investigators hope it will confirm the identity of the shooter.
I'm going to start checking all of the characteristics that I can see that's on the impression on the crossbow, see if they match to the characteristics of our suspect, Sagwat. So here, this is what's made me decide to have a close-up view of the right middle finger for this suspect, is that just here, there's a ridge that comes up and then there's a tiny little break that goes through that ridge, giving us 2 ridge endings, one coming up and one coming down. And that is present just here on our suspect. Your fingerprints have characteristics known as friction ridge detail. Within those ridges, we have characteristics, and it's those characteristics that make us unique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ridges. There is some similarities in friction ridge detail. You've got siblings or you've got family members, because genetically we're going to have similar fingerprints, but it's the unique characteristic detail that will make it unique. Even identical twins do not have the same detail. They may have the same patterns, but they won't have the same characteristic detail. So the characteristics that we have on the impression from the crossbow match and are in the same place and position of the right middle finger for the suspect, Sagwat Ramzan.
If any of those weapons have blood on them and a fingerprint is in blood, it's always the golden egg, because a fingerprint in blood is, you can't get better than that, because it narrows it right down to recent possession, to when the injuries have been caused.
Just want to stand there for us. Hello, Mr. Ramzan. OK, my name's Sergeant Harris. I'm one of the custody sergeants here today. The Crown Prosecution Service have reviewed the evidence and you're going to be charged with 2 counts of murder. First charge is that you're charged jointly together with Sagawat Ramzan of Briley Hill in the county of West Midlands, murdered Wasim Ramzan, contrary to common law. OK, and secondly, you're jointly together with Sagawat Ramzan, murdered Kuzaima Douglas.
The third attacker, Mohammed Sagia, is also charged with 2 counts of murder.
Without the forensic evidence in this case, we'd have struggled to have fully understood exactly what had taken place. It's around that CCTV recovery, it's around those forensic pieces of evidence that we've got to link the suspects. But ultimately, it provides us with clear evidence that Sagwat is the person who had his finger on the trigger.
Hello. Hello, Alex. Dale Robertson.
Hiya, how you doing?
Not too bad, mate, not too bad. Just wanted to update you with the verdict.
All right.
We got murder ×2 for Sagwat Ramzan.
Okay, wow.
Manslaughter of Wasim Ramzan and a murder of Kuzaima Douglas for both Omar and Mohammed Sagia. So, with regards to verdicts, I think the jury have got it absolutely spot on.
I'm glad that you managed to get the right result in the end for the families.
Yeah, so just a thanks to everybody that was involved in it.
I appreciate it, thank you. I'll pass on to the team.
Take care, Alex. Cheers, then. Ta-da. Bye-bye.
Murder is the most serious crime there is to commit. What we saw was people who were intent on causing serious harm where they think it's acceptable to discharge serious weapons in a public street, which ultimately results in the death of 2 people. As a consequence of this investigation, we've removed people with violent tendencies from our streets, and we've got justice for the loved ones of those individuals who have died